Hey everyone, so finally it's time for the third Q&A. I said I would release it closer to 30,000 subscribers, so it's getting close for me, and so I decided to go ahead and make this, and also just want to take some time to thank each and every person that got me to this point. And when I started YouTube way back when, I never dreamed that I would be where I'm at right now. You know, I'm not famous by any means, but I just, like I said, I never dreamed that it would have gotten this far. So thank you to each and every person that's helped me along this journey. Really appreciate it. So I'm just going to read off the questions here like I did before. Same kind of format. I'm going to put the questions over here. That's kind of why there's no props, and I'm kind of sitting over to the side a little bit. So some of these questions are pretty humorous. I like them. There's some great questions in here, and I think it'll be fun. So here it goes. I'm just going to read off the name like I'm going to do my best with reading off names. If I think that I can't pronounce it, I'm just going to kind of not say it, and I'll put it up because I don't want to mispronounce, and I know that, you know, that can offend people, and so I'm not going to try if I don't think I can. Okay, first question. This question is from Jens95. Here's my question. Can I be your friend? Of course you can be my friend. I think we would definitely consider each other friends at this point, so sure, you can be my friend. Second question. Emma Fisher says, or asks, do you play hockey? No, I actually have never played hockey in my life. That is probably a huge disappointment to you, and maybe some other people, but no. I guess it's kind of a presumed assumption, but no, I have not. How do you feel, this is by Killer Squirrel, how do you feel about the Dallas Stars finally getting to be in the Winter Classic next year? Once I saw it, I thought it would be good, you know, just to kind of switch things up and maybe get a little different venue. And now the weather, I was thinking about it, and the weather can be kind of an issue sometimes. And I know it gets really hot and humid down in Texas a lot, and there's definitely maybe some more factors that would come in as far as weather, but I think that it would be neat to see like a different type of venue. Some people don't agree with me, and you know, and that's fine. They, you know, see it as maybe taking away from hockey's natural roots, and I can definitely see that point of view. But I just think it's cool to just see, I guess, a different type of venue every now and then. And this is a name that I'm not going to try to pronounce. But yeah. Best trades in the NHL in 2018, in parentheses, calendar year. So that's noting just within that year, I guess, not this season. I haven't really extensively researched this question because, like, there have been a lot of good ones and a lot of good ones that have happened, but I haven't, like, actually taken time and gone back and refreshed my memory. But the ones that I can think of right off the top of my head that I think, in my opinion, have worked out and have been good. First one that comes to mind would be Jeff Skinner. I think he's working out great for Buffalo. He's just been, like, on a scoring spree nonstop. Another, well, no, that one wouldn't be, or yeah, it would be in 2018. I think from Pittsburgh, coming from Pittsburgh, Daniel Sprong to Anaheim. And the reason being, I think things just weren't working out there. They weren't playing him, you know, with the right chemistry. And I think as soon as he went over to Anaheim, I think things really worked out. He started really performing and getting on the scoreboard a lot more. I'll give you one more because I know there's a lot that has happened, as I said, and so I don't want to go through too much. But I think if I had to name just three, the last one there would be Evander Kane. I think he's worked out great for San Jose. I think it was a great move, personally. I mean, a lot of people thought that he wasn't going to stay there at first, and they thought after, you know, the first season he was going to be, or not the first season, excuse me, when he got traded at the deadline. They thought that he was going to be moved like in the off season or something, but obviously that hasn't been the case, and I think it's worked out well for him, that sort of venue, and getting away from, you know, everything that was going on in Buffalo, kind of getting almost as far away from that as he could. And also he's just been lighting it up as well. He's been doing well over there. So maybe not as good as Karlsson. You guys might have a different opinion, but I think Kane was definitely a better deal for them so far. Okay, Alexander, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name. It looks like it's German. I may be wrong, but I don't want to mispronounce. What's your opinion on Philly? Well, to just give you an idea, I'm a Penguins fan, so that kind of is going to tell you a little bit there. They're not my favorite team. Just to sum it up for you, that's my opinion. So, Bus Stop 109 asks, do you like the results of the Winter Classic this year? No, I didn't, actually. I was rooting for Chicago. I watched most of the game, and unfortunately, Boston had other plans in mind and decided to win the game, which, I mean, I wasn't super invested, but I kind of just picked a team to make it interesting. I mean, Boston isn't one of my favorite teams. I'm kind of like with Chicago, but yeah, I didn't really like the outcome. Now, seeing Marchand doing Snow Angels at the end, that was cool. That was cute. Can you ice skate? And this is asked by the same person as the question before. I used to ice skate all the time in high school, actually. I used to be decently good. And I actually went, let's see, it was last week. I went on Friday for just about an hour session, and it had been months since I had been on ice at all, and this time I did not fall, so that was good. That was good. Yeah, I think I did okay, considering. I was kind of getting out in the middle towards the end and going a little bit faster, so yeah, I don't know if I would say I can, but I'd say it's not pretty. I guess I would say that I can, but it might not be the prettiest sight right now. I definitely could use some work to get back to where I used to be. Favorite music artist? And this is asked by FineMan31. Well, I don't know if you can see my t-shirt, but I'm actually wearing Dave Matthews Band t-shirt from tour from last year. And that would be my favorite music artist. I've seen him twice, once in Columbus and then once in Cincinnati, and he is by far my favorite music artist. There's no real way to compare Dave Matthews Band. They're so unique, their style of music, and I've been a fan for years. Just definitely the artist that I listen to the most, and the music that I would say has definitely influenced my life the most to this day. So, Dave Matthews Band, or DMB. Mark Kidd asks, I'm a new hockey fan, and I really enjoy your videos. Thank you, Mark. Aside from the NHL, what other hockey leagues are out there? Oh, so there's tons, actually. And there's tons here, there's tons in Canada, overseas. It's actually mind-boggling to realize, when you realize how many countries and really continents that hockey is in. And so here we have, let me think, and this is Canada and North America, or North America. So US and Canada mixed would be, and these are just a few. I'm not going to name every single one because obviously that would just take up way too much time. A few of them be QMJHL, this is my favorite player, Sidney Crosby played in, would be AHL, OHL, just to name a few. So, oh yeah, ECHL, yeah, East Coast Hockey League. Just to name a few for you. And like if you check overseas, there's tons of different names and like countries that hockey is, like I said, hockey is in. So it's definitely going to amaze you if you decide to research it that much and that thoroughly. So, good question. Brittany Marie asks, what inspired you to make hockey videos? And what are your thoughts on the Bruins and Habs rivalry? So what inspired me to make hockey videos? Going back to the beginning of my channel, the very first, if you go back, the very first video that I uploaded or should I say the first 4, I think, were of Smallville. And it's a show that I grew up with and that I was really into during especially my high school years. Anyways, so after I did a few videos there, I decided I had another thing that I was into, which was hockey. And I started with just Pittsburgh Penguins videos at that time. And it was just, I loved the side of the video editing starting out, and I still do, but it was something that I really sought out as a hobby and something that I was just really passionate about and really into, and I had a lot of fun with it. I still do, but that's the gist of it. I got into editing hockey videos because of my love for editing, and for hockey, obviously. But yeah, hope that answers your question. Second question, Bruins and Habs. I think that rivalry there is probably the biggest, bloodiest rivalry in hockey. It goes back, you know, long time, a very long time, and there's just a lot of animosity there. There's reasons for the teams to hate each other. So I think every time that they get together, it tends to get ugly, and that's for a reason. So definitely the biggest rivalry in the NHL today, in my opinion. Okay, Tim Wagner. I hope I pronounced your, I tried on that last name. What's your opinion of Gens 95 as another female hockey highlights compilation type channel? Oh God, that Courtney girl. Really? You're gonna ask me about her? No, I'm kidding. She's a great person, and she has a great channel, great content. If you're not subscribed to her, go subscribe to her right now. She does great compilations and great videos, so please go subscribe to her and check out her channel if you haven't already. And link is always below in the description. And what do I think about her as another channel, like, similar to mine? I think it's great, honestly. Like, I think I touched on this in one of my other Q&As, but when I came into this, I did not know that there were any other female hockey YouTube channels. And when I realized that I wasn't alone, it was in a way kind of comforting, because you have somebody that can kind of understand where you're coming from. And because we've discussed this, but as girls, we get a lot of criticism. So we get a lot of, you know, stay in the kitchen, you don't know what you're talking about, it's a man's game. Those are kind of on repeat, like a broken record. But as for myself, I've just kind of learned to just tune it out. I mean, because it's just, you know, you're gonna get it. It's social media, so it is what it is, and you just move on. Try to not let it get to you. Gavin Ray asks, what's your favorite NHL team? Favorite NHL team is definitely the Penguins. Evan Garcia asks, what's your opinion on the Vegas Golden Knights, and who is your favorite player? My opinion on the Vegas Golden Knights, I actually like the team. They're not my favorite team, but they would be within that top 5. I really started following them last season because of Marc-Andre Fleury, and that might kind of tie in with your next question. If you're asking who my favorite player is on the Vegas Golden Knights, it would definitely be Marc-Andre Fleury. And if you're asking me who my favorite player in the league is, which I'm not sure which you meant, so I'll just answer both, it would be Sidney Crosby. And next question, IE Sports Network asks, do you like the Predators? And who would be your favorite Predator? Also, what are your thoughts on the NHL All-Star Weekend? My opinion on the Predators. They're not my favorite team. I'll be brutally honest with you. I went to Bridgestone. I've been to a game there. I saw the Penguins when they came to town there versus the Preds, and it was not the best experience. I'll just leave it at that. And I wouldn't say that the Predators are like my top. Okay, I'll just say this. I don't like the Capitals and I don't like the Flyers. Those are my like top 2 most disliked teams in my opinion. So the Preds will probably will probably be slotted into the number 3 spot there for various reasons. And if I had to pick a favorite Predator, would be Nick Bonino. He was part of the 2016-17 Stanley Cups, and he was, you know, on the team at that time. The classic Bonino, 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 Bonino is always like ringing in my ears when I think of that. So it's really iconic. Yeah, Nick Bonino. And what are my thoughts on NHL All-Star Weekend? Some people don't think that it's a good thing for hockey, or I guess the NHL. You know, they think it's overrated and has been changed too much. And honestly, like, I have not been in the NHL circle for that long. See, I've only been a fan for about 10 years. So for me, I haven't really been into the All-Star game enough to really tell the changes, but I don't really watch the All-Star game as far as like the actual game. All I care about personally is just the skills competitions. I really get into those. Those are fun to watch. My opinion would be, I'm kind of impartial. I'm kind of like, well, you know, if they took it away, I would miss the skills competition, but I wouldn't miss like the other part. Like, I'm kind of impartial, I guess you would say, to it. Who do you cheer for in the NHL, and how old are you? This is by Train Fan 25 Stewart. I cheer for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're my main team, and I'm 28 years old. Jiffy Pop 410 asks, how do you feel about the Washington Capitals winning the Stanley Cup this year? Do you think they deserved it? What was your reaction when Kuznetsov scored the second overtime goal? Do you think the Capitals have a chance to win the Stanley Cup a second time like the Pittsburgh Penguins did before? Okay, how do I feel? I didn't feel great, I'll be honest with you. At first, initially, I didn't feel great, but you got to keep in mind, they were the team that knocked my team out. So, I mean, of course, I was, like, a little, I guess, annoyed, maybe a little annoyed almost. I kind of was, you know, and also I was rooting for Vegas, too. So, I was rooting for Vegas hardcore for Marc-Andre Fleury. So, keeping that in mind, I was not very happy about it. What was my reaction? So, I think you're referring to when, okay, what was your reaction when Kuznetsov scored the overtime goal? I think you're referring to the overtime goal against Pittsburgh and the whole bird celebration thing. My reaction was not good. I was really, really angry, I'll be honest, angry. But I feel like every fan gets that way when it's your team and it's down, you know, to the wire. So, no disrespect, but I was angry. You know, it was something that I thought would never happen. I thought the Caps would not advance, and then they did, and yeah. And we had the whole three-peat thing, and yeah, it was just, yeah. Do you think, okay, going back to Capitals win the Stanley Cup second time, do I think they will? No, I don't. I'll be very honest with you. I'm not trying to just sabotage anyone's hopes or anything. I mean, I could be wrong, but do I think so? No. I just don't see it. I think there's so many good teams out there this year, and I think that it was like a once-in-a-lifetime type thing. But after everything happened, I wasn't... Once everything sunk in, I looked back and I thought they deserved it. They deserved it. They worked hard. And Ovechkin is not my favorite player, but I thought to myself, Ovechkin deserved it. He worked hard for it. So that cup is rightfully his and should be, respectfully. What influenced you to become a hockey fan? Well, there are a couple things. I actually, in high school, I went out with somebody that was a huge Penguins fan, biggest Penguins fan I won't probably ever seen. And that introduced me to watching the games. And also, as I mentioned before, I used to skate a lot in high school, so I went out to the rink almost every weekend. I was there. People played hockey out there, and there's just there's a different kind of atmosphere there, you know. Everybody's into hockey and everybody's supporting usually a team, and so, you know, I decided to just get into it because I realized that how intense it was, how fast it was, and I used to watch basketball, I used to watch a little bit of football, and comparing those to hockey, there just wasn't anything like it in my eyes. And from there, I just picked it up, and I saw Sidney Crosby play, and I'm just like, man, like, he's really what got me, I guess you would say, into it, like, engaged, because he still is a really good player, and just watching him made things so much more exciting as well. Here's my opinion. I forgot to ask last time. Do you read Check Please? It's what got me back into hockey, and it's gained a huge following. Also, favorite ice cream flavor. And yes, Ben & Jerry's counts. No, I have not read that. I'll have to look it up though. And my favorite ice cream flavor, I'm gonna go with Moose Tracks. And if you're not familiar with Moose Tracks, my second favorite would be mint chocolate chip. Do you like the Beach Boys? Just curious. Do I like the Beach Boys? I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me okay, Good Vibrations is probably my first favorite song, second favorite song, I Get Around. And from there, I know other songs, but it kind of just drops off. I grew up, reason why I know those songs, or I guess like those songs, I grew up spending a lot of time with my grandparents, and so they listened to a lot of the 60s music, so mostly 60s, maybe a little bit of 50s, so I kind of grew up around that and hearing that. So you know, if I hear these songs, sometimes I'll just start singing them, because, I mean, singing along, because, like, they're just still in there, you know. So that was a good question. I try to not just favor one decade over any others, and I realize that there are a lot of great musical accomplishments and groups out there, outside of, you know, the 90s and I guess early 2000s, which is my favorite 2 decades of music. But anyways, and Bus Stop 109 again, it says, I have one more question. Name as many states that you've been to. So I guess I'll just keep like a little tally here, okay, in case I might count one more, like 1-2 times, I don't know. So I did this earlier just to see if I could remember everything. So hopefully this will go very smoothly. Of course, West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Texas, Florida, Arkansas, and I believe I said Ohio. I believe I did say Ohio. So if we're going off that, I think that was 16, I think. But if we are counting just states that I've actually, like, looked at and, like, walked outside and, like, explored, then that would be the number. If we're counting technical states that I've been into, we would add 3 more on there. It would be Arizona, Detroit, and, excuse me, Arizona, Michigan, and Illinois. Oh, Nevada. There's one more, Nevada. So the last, it was those 3. I said technically I was in, like, airports, so I wasn't actually, like, exploring it, but I could say, I guess, I set foot in that geographical region, I guess. I remember that you're at least part Italian. So what is your favorite Italian food? Yeah, I am actually, I would say a good bit Italian. My grandpa actually has cousins in Italy, so he actually has, like, still, like, connections, you know, over there. Anyways, I don't know if you would really count pizza as being Italian. So if I'm not counting pizza, which pizza is my favorite food, ironically, I would say, excuse me, I would say fettuccine alfredo with, well, chicken. With chicken would be even better. What's your 3 favorite hockey memories and why? So if I'm going by most favorite and then down to, you know, I guess descending from there. Number 1 would be when the Pittsburgh Penguins won the 2009 Stanley Cup. Would be the second one. Honestly, I know this may sound really redundant, but I believe that would be, third would be when the Pittsburgh Penguins won the 2016 Cup and 2017, and just to, I guess, throw a little something extra in there, just in case, you know, that was a little too redundant and boring, would be when Sidney Crosby made his comeback. Well, he made several quote-unquote comebacks to the ice from his concussion, but the one when he came back and we were playing the New York Islanders at home, and everyone was holding up those signs that said "sit on it," and every person that you saw in the stands, they were holding a sign, and he was coming out on ice, and everybody was just welcoming him back, and everyone was just so excited and so happy. And I think that, actually, once I think about it, I think that would probably be my second favorite memory. And then maybe like 2016 as the third, I guess. Because, like, he's my favorite player, and him being away was just really hard, I think, for hockey and, well, for the league, and also, like, for me and fans. And, you know, you didn't know if he was ever going to play again for a long time. So that was the second one, I believe. What city do you live in? I live in Cross Lanes, West Virginia. It's about 20 minutes from the capital, and the capital is Charleston. Opinions on the duo of toaster and bathtubs? Sorry, I don't know what that is. That was from Bathtub Toaster, by the way, the last 2 questions. And FineMan31 comes in with a second question. How many places can you name in Canada? Oh, places. Okay, when I was in, let me think, 7th grade, we had geography class, and we had to memorize all the provinces. Well, obviously, I probably forgot all of those. Well, not all of them, but some of them. So let's just try. Okay, so I'll just do it this way. If I can think of a city within the province, then I'll just go ahead and name that city. And if I can just name province, then I'll just name province. I'll try to go east to west, but, like, yeah, I'm probably going to get a little mixed up on the geography, so I'll do my best. Prince Edward Island. Oh, wait, Newfoundland. Prince Edward Island. And then within, let's see, Nova Scotia. And within Nova Scotia would be Halifax. Ontario. Within Ontario, Ottawa, Toronto. And this is where it's going to get a little tricky. Going further over, I'm going to say Manitoba, Winnipeg. Going over from there, Alberta, Calgary, Edmonton. Over from there, British Columbia, Vancouver. So I probably missed a few. I know that there's St. John's. Oh yeah, St. John's. I think St. John's is like over far east. Oh yeah, and New Brunswick. Yeah, that's another one. Oh, and Fredericton, excuse me. I think I don't know if that's in Ontario. I don't know. But those are the cities and provinces that I can name to the best of my ability. Also, who's your favorite hockey team, NHL or anywhere else? So, my favorite is the Pittsburgh Penguins. If I'm going to name a second one, it'd be the Columbus Blue Jackets. And that was from Goalie Hockey. Goalie Hockey asks another question. What's your opinion on the New York Rangers? Do you like them? If so, who's your favorite player? I don't really. They're not my favorite team. I would say they're probably like my 5th most disliked team, but I wouldn't say that, obviously, that they're like my most hated. So I said that I don't really favor them, so I guess I wouldn't have a favorite player. But if I did have to pick one for your, for your question, I would say Matt Zuccarello. He's a fan favorite, and I don't know, I think he's kind of funny. He's also a good player. But wait, there's more. I forgot to do a couple questions, so I'm just going to call this the bonus questions section. Anyways, so Chris from Snapchat asked me a couple questions that I forgot to add on here. One of them being, what did you want to be when you grow up and why? And in 3rd grade, I remember telling my dad, because I just had this inclination that I guess I could be an astronaut for whatever reason, and I really wanted to be an astronaut, like hardcore. We used to watch the movie Rocket Man when I was a kid. It's like a 90s kind of comedy, so I guess maybe I got it from there. But anyways, I told my dad. My dad was like, well, you're gonna have to get straight A's, and I'm just like, okay, I'm on it. And I remember that was pretty funny. From there, it was, I went, for a little while, I wanted to be a teacher like my mom. And then from there, it was a journalist in high school. And then from there, it was a psychologist. And yeah, so that's pretty much what my career choices or, I guess, desires were there for a while. And Chris also asked me another question, what are your hobbies or interests outside of hockey? So one of my big interests, I would say, or I guess hobby, would be fitness. You might see if you're on my Snapchat, a lot of times I'll post, when I'm at Planet Fitness. It's a big part of my routine, and I value being fit. And I mean, I'm not where I want to be, obviously, but it's definitely something that I try to take seriously, and so it would be fitness. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this again. Thanks to Chris for submitting them, and see y'all next time.